Don't underestimate this story, because in the next few minutes, you'll see how one dangerous emotion can destroy even the strongest soul. This isn't just a story about a horse and a dog, it's about people, about comparison, about envy, about forgetting your own worth while chasing someone else's life. And by the end of this story, you may never look at your own life the same way again. In a quiet farming town somewhere in the American Midwest, an old workhorse named Bruno lived on a large family ranch. Every morning before sunrise, Bruno was already awake. While the world still slept, he pulled heavy carts through mud, carried hay across endless fields, and worked until steam rose from his body in the freezing morning air. The ranch depended on him, but nobody noticed. No praise, no affection, just orders. Move, pull, faster. Every night Bruno returned to the barn exhausted, muscles aching, hooves cracked from hard ground. But inside the farmhouse, another life existed. A tiny golden retriever puppy named Charlie lived there like royalty. Charlie slept beside the fireplace. He wore a bright red collar. The children hugged him constantly. The owner laughed every time Charlie barked or wagged his tail. At dinner, Charlie sat beside the family eating scraps from the table, while Bruno stood alone outside in the cold, chewing dry hay beneath the dark sky. One snowy evening, Bruno looked through the farmhouse window. Inside, the family sat together, laughing warmly. Charlie jumped onto the owner's lap, licking his face while everyone smiled. And for the first time in his life, Bruno felt something dangerous growing inside him. Jealousy. He lowered his head slowly. I carry their entire world, he thought. And that little dog does nothing. Yet he gets all the love. That thought followed him through the night. The next morning, the ranch owner invited neighbors over for a Sunday gathering. Music played softly on the porch. People drank coffee. Children ran across the yard laughing. Charlie wagged his tail happily near the owner's chair. From the field nearby, Bruno watched everything carefully. Then the thought returned. Maybe love is simple, he told himself. Maybe I just have to act like Charlie. For the first time, Bruno ignored the cart waiting beside the barn. Instead, he slowly walked toward the house. Heavy hooves crushed the frozen ground. Thud, thud, thud. At first nobody noticed, but then the wooden porch began to shake. And suddenly, the massive horse was climbing the steps toward the guests. Stop, someone shouted. But Bruno wasn't angry. He wasn't trying to hurt anyone. He only wanted what Charlie had. The owner stood up in confusion just as Bruno pushed forward, awkwardly trying to climb beside the chair. Crack! The wooden porch shattered beneath his weight. Tables flipped over. Coffee spilled everywhere. Guests screamed and rushed backward. One child started crying. The owner crashed against the railing as part of the porch collapsed beneath the horse. Chaos exploded instantly. Get him back. Move. Grab the rope. Bruno panicked. People rushed toward him, yelling loudly and waving sticks. The more afraid they became, the more terrified Bruno became too. He kicked backward accidentally, smashing flower pots and lanterns. Within seconds, the peaceful gathering turned into disaster. Finally, the ranch workers forced Bruno back into the barn. Breathing heavily, trembling with fear, he stood alone in the darkness while angry voices echoed outside. For hours nobody came near him. No gentle hand, no comforting words, only silence. Late that night, an old ranch worker entered quietly carrying a lantern. He had cared for Bruno for many years. Without speaking, the old man placed fresh hay in front of him and gently rubbed his neck. Then he said softly, "Charlie is loved for being small. You are respected for being strong. But the moment you forgot who you were, everything fell apart." Bruno stood completely still. The old man continued, "A dog and a horse were never meant for the same role. One comforts the heart, the other carries the weight." Outside, snow slowly covered the ranch in white silence, and for the first time, Bruno understood something most people never do. Not every life is supposed to look the same. Some people shine in quiet rooms. Others are built for storms. Some are loved loudly. Others are valued silently. But envy has a cruel power. It makes you abandon your own strength while chasing someone else's comfort. Bruno destroyed himself not because he was weak, but because he forgot the value of what he already was. And sometimes, the fastest way to lose yourself is trying too hard to become someone else.